Hey everyone, welcome to this video tutorial in which we are exploring the themes of this upcoming full moon through tarot and astrology. As always, this is a learning adventure, so if you'd like to grab a pen and paper to take some notes, or you can just grab a cup of tea and enjoy the lesson. But whatever we're doing it now, so let's dive in. So firstly, we've got a full moon coming up on Wednesday, and as it's Aries season, that means the full moon is going to be in the sister sign of Aries, so Libra. One way to explore the themes of the full moon, that's a great way to get to know the tarot better, is through the astrological correspondences in the tarot cards. So for example, the Emperor is the card that represents Aries in the major arcana, and then Libra's card is Justice. So by exploring these two cards, you can start to get a better understanding of the energies that this full moon offers. So the challenges and the opportunities as well are going to be wrapped up in these cards. So let's explore these cards to see what's cracking this full moon. What really came to me really loudly was the mantras of these signs and then what they represent. So Aries, the mantra of Aries, every sign has a mantra in astrology. So Aries is I am. Aries is the first zodiac sign. It is headstrong. Aries wants to charge forward. Aries has to do with like who we are as an individual. Whereas Libra's mantra is I relate. And Libra is more about harmony and relationships. So the Emperor and Aries can be about our relationships with ourselves, and then Justice and Libra can be exploring our relationships with others. Ha! Perfect. So I really felt for this season, it's about the me and the we and how those can dance together with as much harmony as possible. Not always easy, but hey, doesn't mean that we don't do it. So with the Emperor in Aries season, this is a time of exploring who we are as individuals, which of course is a direct correspondence to how we're going to show up in relationships. So relationships are likely a really big theme this time, and also our sense of identity, who we are. Full moons are great times for a number of things. I always find the full moons are just like power packed. So I make a lot of spell candles on the full moons, oils. I want them to be really charged with those energies. Full moons can also be used to release, but remember that you do have the waning moon as a period of releasing as well. So full moons are great for culmination, for empowering things, but also releasing. You can do both. So this to me suggests with the energies of I am and I relate, the me and the we, this is an opportunity to reshape our identities, not from a place of inauthenticity, but from a place of we've grown. What would you like to ditch about yourself that isn't helpful in relationships this full moon? And what strength would you like to empower? That's, to me, one of the gifts this full moon is offering. So if we look at the Emperor, I call this figure the wise Aries, the Aries with some life experience and maturity. You see that the Emperor has a beard. Whenever there is a beard, this is indicative of life experience and wisdom. And as teachers say, wisdom must be tasted. We cannot get it through books. We can only get it through living life. So when this full moon comes around, a great opportunity is to explore our life experiences. What hard-earned wisdom have we won that we can apply to who we are that could be beneficial in our relationships? So if you feel in your past in your relationships that you were a doormat, an overgiver, you're not going to judge yourself, never judge yourself, but just be like, I see why that manifested, whether that was how I was taught to love or what I was taught love looked like or how I thought I was going to get love. No judgment. But this full moon could then suggest that you're like, I do not want that to be a part of my identity. I would like to take that and turn it into wisdom, the beard. Right? You can also then pluck out the parts of your identity that you're really rather fond of. So what? You may have been a bit of a people pleaser sometimes. That's not your whole identity. Are you really funny, generous, intelligent, quirky, hardworking? There's all these other traits that you have that we can empower with this full moon energy. So the Emperor is the fourth card in the major arcana, which is suggestive of stability. Think like a table, 4 legs. So we want to feel really stable and really confident in who we are this full moon. If you don't sweat it. That's life. But the full moon does offer opportunities to tap into, to strengthen the stability of who you really want to be. So we even see this with the mountains in the background, reliable. We got that stone throne, solid. So we can really be leaning into these energies. The Emperor, though, is not solid and reliable from a place of boredom or like scarcity. It's not like the Four of Pentacles. This is a figure who is confident and driven and disciplined. They got their eyes on the prize. They're going to make some things happen. And you know what's actually really essential for this. Like discipline, yes, absolutely. Structure, all these things. But confidence, if we don't believe in ourselves or we don't believe in this vision that we have for the future, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know any routines that are really going to stick. And confidence is something we build. We can build that belief in ourselves. So the Emperor is asking us to check in. Is there a future vision that you feel is possible, like possible enough that you can believe in it so that you can implement those structures, that discipline, and then believe in yourself enough to maintain them? So there's a lot of empowerment with Aries season. We can think about who we want to be or the goals that we really want, those things that really light us up. Aries is a fire sign, so we've got passion, we've got drive. They're the warrior. They will fight for what they want. But again, with the Emperor, we have a wise warrior. So once again, someone who's been through a number of battles and can now apply their earned lived experience and wisdom to their planning. Lots of opportunities. Okay, now let's explore justice. So now we're going to bring that Libra energy of I relate. So the justice card, another interesting number. This is the 11th card in the major arcana. Note, in other decks, such as the Tarot de Marseille or the Thoth Tarot, this is actually going to be the 8th tarot card. For the Smith Rider-Waite deck, the creators swapped the places of strength and justice so it would make more sense astrologically. Arguments can be made for both placements, so you do you, as always, with tarot. But if we are going to look at it through the lens of this is the 11th card in the major arcana, then this tells us this is a halfway point. This is a portal. Justice, I've always seen as a portal. You see how this figure is sat between two columns? Columns are like doorways in the tarot. This is the last time that this column shows up where it looks like it's in a room. So if you think about the High Priestess, this card has columns. They take up the whole card as well. The Hierophant, those columns take up the whole card. Justice does. The next time we see columns is in the Death card, and it's under a really big sky, and then the Moon card. And we're closer to those columns, but again, it's under a big sky. So there's this sense with justice. It's an invitation. Libra, when Libra is at their strongest, they balance well the head and heart. I mean, that's like anyone. But Libra has that Venus energy with their ruling planet, that loving, that wanting to unite, the beauty, the creation. But then they are an air sign, and so they have that intellectualism as well. So Aries is really strong when they learn that their life isn't just about relationships with others, but their relationships with themselves and the relationships with the head and heart, learning how to trust the wisdom of the heart and then incorporate it with whatever they think, right? So in justice, one of the many gifts of justice, we can see that the scales are balanced. The scales are in this figure's left hand, indicating that they feel things are harmonious. They feel things are fair. In their right hand, right being the more logical side, we have the sword of truth. And so this is the idea that your thoughts are, you're not twisting things to make sense, because we can do that, right? We can twist things to justify them. This is sword of truth is upright, clear, no BS. And the scales of our left side, our intuitive side, are balanced. So we really feel that something is fair and right. Once again, this is going to be coming to our relationship with ourselves, between our head and our heart, and then how that manifests with our relationships with other people. Coming back to this being the halfway point in the major arcana, this suggests that should we lean into these energies now? Should we lean into the Emperor and really reflect on our past life experiences, not seeing them as hindrances or ways to judge ourselves, but as our beards, as our manifestations of wisdom, right? And then using that wisdom, how can we come to a place with some choices, because justice is very much about choices, that are going to take us to the next level of consciousness, to the next leg of the journey in which we are ready to dive deeper into the mysteries of who we are, where life is going to get richer, where we don't repeat the same 11 cards, or I suppose 10 before this, that we have been repeating. It is an opportunity to break cycles and to enter into a new path that has more depth and more strength and more opportunity, all this richness. So justice then with Libra, I relate, we are going to explore, we're going to really tap into our sense of truth and honor and integrity. And then we're going to let that really guide our decisions. So in short, this full moon, we're going to be learning how to dance with the me and the we, with integrity, fairness, class, balancing that head and heart. The past boo-boos, no judgment. Turn it into a beard, turn it into wisdom. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. Wishing you a very beautiful full moon as always. Take care.